Are you looking in the mirror? Let's start on a good page, huh?
Thanks, Hal. Oh my God.
Oh, keep my hands to myself.
You should.
What experience? How about Zoom student? Could you type your name in our chat box? Actually, if you want to join Zoom, you should let me know in advance. It's okay. So anyway, type your name as your attendance. So we have Mia, Michael, and I think Dante is there. And okay, yeah. Dante, actually. It's almost not many students. What happened? But analyze them. If you have any question, please unmute. You can just say, or you can type in our chat box. So how about this case? Sky circle. How about if some question I ask you sit here, so whenever they have question, you let me know. Okay. So it's okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't know, but they sent message but I couldn't see. That case. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's already time. So not to mention, I'm confused. Yeah. Woo. Yes. So actually, it's a Zoom is not preference, right? I want to do not like this. So you need some resume. So this case, you should send the email to me. Usually I'm okay, but you should send the email to me, right? In order. So, okay, so how about we start our pilot today? Have a seat. Oh, okay. So this case a little bit confused. We have a king. So Mia is not here. And Samantha, and Sky, Kai, Sarah, Ashley, Cooper, no Tony, Lucio, Jackson, no, Calvin, yes, Bobby, yes, Carl, Michael, no, Michael, no, Rich, Dante, yes, and over. Yeah, it's and Taylor, yes, and Jason, no. Camille, Eva, yes. And how about this our June? We have Dante and Sarah. It really is it's not in person or online, right? So you should come. And how about Mia too? And there. And Michael. Ashley. Tony. Ashley. Dr. Kwan, I'm here. Did you get me? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Jackson.
Yeah, so I after I did. Still one, yeah.
So how about, I think, Samantha, no, and I, no. Jackson, we have a Jackson here. And Ricardo, and Jason, ooh, but many students and many students are Jew, so I'm already confused. Sorry, Jim is kind of a benefit, guys. And how about our class as well as our June class? Yeah. So next week we'll start calculation and we'll be very chance to tell the truth, right? So we should be, how can I say, like very inspired or bring the big amount of coffee, maybe big calculator. But anyway, it's very important. So at the same time, it's very valuable. You can express your fitness assessment and programming using number. Okay, so how about before starting class? And I just ask you if you have any question about HIT program. I think it's you have a incorrect Zoom link. I just sent. I sent two.
Yeah, so I wasn't there at the start, and I
Right.
realized after 5 minutes, I ended up coming late.
No, it's okay. So I recorded, I posted, you can see it.
I was at the,
Oh, you were there?
yeah, I was there, I just couldn't
Thank
get
you.
late, I did the wrong way.
Jason.
Jen?
Oh, yes.
So you add the two together, high and low, you have an average speed,
Yes.
and then you just manipulate those for the high. So if you decrease high, you want to increase.
Yeah. So everybody same, but the different interval and using different analysis.
Right, so if you want 106%, 110%, then you want to increase by 10.
Yes. Really interval. So that case, more phosphagen and mitochondria, but less glycogenesis.
Ah,
So it doesn't make sense. But everybody the same, but how impressive.
but the energy systems can change.
Cool. And but how about if you really set up and if you succeed, low one is increased to maximize your mitochondria.
Okay,
It should be same, but this is increased.
so you can top out here, if you're like, oh, the height, so you're 1.5, you don't need to go past a certain speed.
Yes.
So from then, you just do your low speed.
Theoretically, it's become your 1.5 speed is your maximum speed. It's like a marathon.
Yeah.
They have ultimate speed by using their marathon.
For their mitochondria, it's that
Yeah.
trained. But, okay. yeah.
Right. But thank you. So
Great.
how about, did you remember the ending of the HIT lecture? Did you remember I said the heart rate response, right? I'm sorry, why is that clear? So gradually naked. How many times I said you guys will be gradually naked, but gradually naked. So maybe next week they more bikini. I need more. If you go to Olympic, right? How even basketball they wear very short minimum wear is right. Small. So could you see? This is important. Actually, usually this is the heart rate response. That is important. So I think you remember, right? When we find maximum steady state, see, whenever exercise has increased, how about this is low intensity, increase exercise intensity, right? So graph look like this, right? So it look like this, right? But many people just stop. But Lucius case really trained this kind of a training. So this is why his graph look like this. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Untrained people is like, I will throw up and I start exercise. But Lucio's case, the graph look this way, which means his mitochondrial response system usually take 3 to 5 minutes activated, for his one just 1 minute already activated, is right? So this is why graph like this. The first one is actually 12 mile per hour, but he can get that graph, right? So it doesn't make sense. If somebody is untrained, the graph should be like this. I almost failed, right? So graph should be like this, is right? But Bruce's graph look like this. Just like this. This is why, oh my goodness, his heart and lung is really trained, and mitochondria also too. So it doesn't make sense. Can I show you an example too? I'm sorry. I'm proud. So how about like this? So this one is a treadmill. It's a main. He's track and field runner, right? So it's beautiful graph. But next one, I show the heart. For heart is a train, but recreational, right? It's not like the athlete level. And heart uses bike, so has a little bit disadvantage. So he has a little bit disadvantage compared to Lucio. So can you guess heart's graph number 1 or number 2? Heart's graph should be number 2 is right. That is heart's graph, right? Say exercise passive, 100%, 65%, 2 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, I compare both of them. Right? Even I make a match, since this is a Lucio, this is a heart. It doesn't make sense. So actually, Lucio doesn't need any trainer. He needs coach and director. But Hans needs a trainer, so I can train him to make like this. And after this one, he can participate in sports. Yeah, doesn't make sense. It's great, is right? Great. Really, MB1 is wow. How about like Lucio's heart and lung as well as his mitochondrial muscle? How great is it? How great? Yeah, we need that on. Any question? No? Yeah. So this is about our HIT program, and we learned, right? But you didn't know how to do. You do not know how to make a program, is right? So we'll start next week how to make a exercise program. Doesn't make sense. A lot of calculation. And even our lab activity is like a calculate exercise program is a kind of our. So I will come back to our chapter 4, our textbook, right? So well, anyway, we need fitness assessment, and we can make exercise programs, right? So it's here. So true exercise testing for cardiorespiratory fitness, we should choose maximum or sub-maximum evidence test, right? What is the example of maximum test? Can I say Bruce protocol? At 1.5 mile test is kind of maximum too. Yeah. And how about sub-maximum evidence test? Did you remember we did something, right? YMCA test. YMCA test. Is right. Is right. Yeah. Did you remember based on your heart rate, we just choose 600 or 750, 900 watt? That's right. Did you remember? Until to reach 85% of your heart rate max. Did you remember? That was the max. So this Thursday, tomorrow, our lab, so we will do just single test or some other test do. So it's the last day of our cardiorespiratory fitness. So tomorrow doesn't make sense. So can you only right? So please keep your lunch and we can have. Doesn't make sense.
Which protocols?
Oh, there are some other protocol as well as, or if you really test your 1.5 mile on the treadmill with cheerleading is your friend, that's good too. So anyway, tomorrow I'll provide some kind of simple protocol, especially like single stage protocol, or you can test 1.5 mile test or 1 mile test. How about Dante's case? He was injured, right? This case, I provide some questionnaire. So I just mimic, like at our proposal tomorrow is kind of my health club. So I just get, there are many clients. How about Cooper thing? Dr. What I want that one. Or how about you this one? How about I was sick? Oh, that case questionnaire one. You can work on this one. That doesn't make sense. I buy her. Oh, you can use this one. So maybe tomorrow is that kind of question. The lab. And get a good max value, and using this value next week we'll calculate. We'll make exercise program. And make exercise program, you should do using that program. Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. So we will. So that kind of program, and another one, we have to measure directly that the gold standard is right. So 1.5 mile test is great, but it takes time, several days, sometimes 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks. But if you measure just root max, you can get that root max values, right? Using the GXT. However, it requires expensive equipment and trained personnel, is right? And also estimate very well via some test result. So that we can predict, but still this is really great. But the problem is very expensive, and even we are in KINS major. Not all of the students can have this benefit, right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And multi-stage protocol is bad. So this is why we use Bruce protocol, right? This is right. But there are other protocols too, right? And another one, maximum test, not more dangerous than sub-maximum test. So this is important, right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So any question? Any question? So to give exercise program, testing is really important. How about like this? How about so how right now you exercise right? But how about before test 1.5 mile test? How could you exercise without the result of the fitness? Cardio fitness. But did you exercise or did you exercise for cardio fitness?
Only like cycling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that is kind of physical activities, right?
Yeah.
Or can be sports, but it's not an exercise. Doesn't make sense. So he recently started exercise. So can I say it like this? Yeah. It makes sense. Doesn't make sense. So it's important. So graded exercise test is great for to measuring our good max value, right? So it's here. It's done to evaluate good max objectivity, is it right? Does it make sense? Objectivity, right? Yeah. Inter-rater reliability and gradually increase of maximum workload. Did you remember? Right? Gradually increase of maximum workload. How about Bruce protocol? Bruce protocol gradually increase exercise intensity. Yeah, did you remember? Did you remember any some first stage 10% which mile power?
That was 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. 12%, 14%. I think 1.7 mile power is right. 2.5 mile, 3.4 mile power is right. Is right. So gradually increase exercise intensity. Doesn't make sense. How about Wingate test? Did you remember the exercise intensity? It increased gradually. Wingate test. No, is right. So 8.5% of body mass. High intensity is right. So this is why. So high intensity fast body system is right. How about this is gradually increased? So energy gradually. We need energy gradually. So this is a mitochondrial response system. So to find mitochondrial systems, this energy system capacity, you need to increase exercise gradually. But how about fast body system? You need high intensity. Just give high exercise intensity. So it doesn't make sense. So this is a different graph. So we have maximum or sub-maximum test 2 is right. And another one is here. Client's age and risk classification is important because this is anyway is what is this maximum test. We do not need any more risk classification to participate exercise, but as a tester, still we should know our client has risk classification. Right? Risk, right? Doesn't make sense. Do you have a high blood pressure? Do you have a history of the cardiac disease of your parents? How old are you? Doesn't make sense. Still, we should know. We should know. This is why we should be measuring blood pressure, measuring heart rate, and sometimes see their medical history, right? Using questionnaire. And why we need a test? This is important because even our textbook, most universities, they confuse root max test and stress test. It doesn't make sense. Even our textbook is confused. Right? So this case, our test to make exercise program, which test we need, root max test or stress test, to give exercise program. Root max test. That doesn't make sense. But to check our heart or lung, or as usually our heart, we need a stress test. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But even our textbook confused, it isn't confused, everybody's confused. And available equipment and qualified steps, okay, it's right. How about before starting qualified? Maybe I want to talk about later, about the step. So any question, So to get a good match test, to give exercise program, so which kind of protocol is great, right? Like this kind of question is right. And another one, how about just test our patient's heart function? That is really stress test. So which kind of like protocol is great? Like this kind of approach doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So anyway, it's made very confuse us, very confuse our fitness industry as well as even our kids as a major student. So this is why, for me, this situation is not too bad. So I can teach, right? Because this situation is confusing people, doesn't it? How about you guys, if you really train and well, and how about become trainer, that case is great for you. It means many just ordinary people never understand exercise. It doesn't make sense. So this is the criteria of brute max, right? So this case, not stress is brute max test. First, the number one is VO2 plateau. That is important. But how about class? I think it's a lab 3. I demonstrate is a maximum exercise test using Patrick, but I never really said he reached plateau or not. Did you remember? But nobody complained me. Is it right? Right? Because this is you learn from the exercise physiology. So maybe skipping plateau 1. He reached plateau or not, right? Is it right? Doesn't make sense. Nobody has reached it. Right? So Lindsay, could you see it here? Could you see it? Yeah, doesn't make sense. This is our field, right? See, I understand you will be confused. Is it right? That is the ultimate plateau and done. Right? Okay, I think maybe next one. Doesn't make sense. So this is important. Today I show you.
But you only need 3 or 2 out of 4, right?
Right.
Or is it all?
How about like this? So if he reaches VO2 plateau, that case we can go to next. But if we couldn't reach VO2 plateau, but still match 1 or 2 of them, how about failure of heart to increase, lactate, RER, N number, RP, that case we call VO2 peak. But if we reach VO2 plateau, we call VO2 max.
Yes.
Is right? Yeah, doesn't make sense.
So VO2 max is only plateau, not
Right.
other stuff.
But how about even using the 1.5 mile run test and we call that is good mechanism, right?
Yeah.
See, this is why I just say how confused. So I can say you guys sense right? That's all. Right. It's very subjective. Yeah, doesn't make sense. And anything else? Oh, see, like this. If the test is terminated before the person reaches plateau in VO2, and RER greater than 1.15, the GX measure of VO2 P rather than VO2 max. Doesn't make sense. But I didn't really say is our Patrick is VO2 max and VO2 P. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I said it's VO2 max, which means after already checked. Right, is it right? But how about if I check, oh, he didn't reach plateau, I had better say, Patrick's VO2 P is 58.3. That doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Yes. Oh, how about heart rate? Another one. I believe you learn from exercise physiology. So one of the criteria is age predict maximum heart rate plus minus 10 beats. Did you remember? That is one of our criteria of the brute mass plan. But how about brute mass? But could you see here? Not anyone this number is right. See, failure of heart rate to increase is different because age predict maximum heart rate is really how can I say? It's underestimated. Doesn't make sense, especially trained people. So our textbook do not use. But our exercise physical textbook using this plus minus 10 beats for maximum 80 predict maximum heart rate. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So it makes sense. See, Bobby is how confused, right? It's like that, but you change the word, right? Because you use different textbook, right? So, but I think that is better. Please see here. See, this talk about me. I'm 52 years old. So based on 220 minus is right. How much?
172.
Oh, 52.
Oh.
168 is right. Is right. Yeah. 170, 168 is right. 178.
168.
168 potential. First minus 10. So it means I can start this test 158 or 178 is right. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But could you see my heart rate?
189.
And another one, could you see my face? Could you see my ugly face? And 189. Or another mean 220 minus 189. Oh my goodness. How old Dr. Gon? 31 years old, is right. So physics, my age is 52 years old, but physically, theoretically, I'm 31 years old. Or some tester stops me, how about around 170? Oh, Dr. Gon, that's it, stop. You underestimate my capacity. So this is why do not use age predict maximum heart rate, but you should see even increase exercise intensity, but if you cannot increase your heart rate, that is one of the criteria. So it doesn't make sense. This is impressive, is right? My heart is 189. 189. So my heart, especially my heart, I think is 31 years old, my heart, right? I have a 31 years old heart. And Lucio, isn't it? Lucio again, right? So C is a same exercise intensity. This is Dante's heart rate, Ricardo's heart rate, so Lucio's heart rate, right? So same exercise intensity, but they have a different heart rate. This is why we cannot really use like this age minus, so 220 minus age, we cannot really use. Everybody is different, right? Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. So generally, plus minus can be of maximum age predict maximum heart rate, but specifically we cannot really use. And another one, this is his 12 mile per hour, but heart rate only. Yeah. That speed is really fast, but couldn't reach 160, right? 159. So this case, how about it means Lucio has good gene, is right? Good gene, really good gene. But this gene from his mother's side or father's side? Mother's side, is right? Did you remember? Mitochondria from the mother. Because the man's sperm, the tail is the man's sperm, mitochondria. So when enter the egg, this tail is out. So when the children, baby has only mom's mitochondria. So this is why I asked Lucio, is your mom is ugly? Lucio is not right. But how about your mom's younger brother?
Uncle.
Uncle is right. Uncle is ugly. See? Doesn't make sense. Right. See, he's not from his father, maybe muscle the other one, but mitochondria from the mother. So this is why my exercise prescription for his mom. Please let her know. She has gene. So if she runs, she'll be very fast in development. But doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I think she forgot. Right. Yeah. Oh, but doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's the same to my wife too. My wife never really exercise. But my children, they're runner and they're swimmer. So this is why I asked my wife, I think you can run because see your children, right? And she's right now run on the treadmill. So 3 hours run every day. Right. It's great.
3 hours.
And another one right now, she can, how can I say it, right? Without exercise, she cannot live. Doesn't it? But she started after 4 years old. So very upset for their her physical education teacher and her middle school and high school. Why they like motivate me to run? Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah. I think everybody has seen that. Because we are Adam and Eve is right, one mother. Theoretical, everybody should be runner, right? Theoretical, if we do that. Or to survive at that age, right? Everybody should be endurance runner to catch up, right? The meat is right. So that case, it should be everybody should be that really good runner.
And you eat less.
Or less, right? So exercise or don't eat that much kilocalories, right?
But if you exercise, you don't want to eat more because of the resting metabolism.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that is great. How about this case? We can talk about cardiorespiratory fitness, not muscle memory, but just spend a little bit minute. I would like to explain here. How about class? Did you remember what is our engine, human body engine? Did you remember? In the mitochondria, yes. In the one space of it. Yes. Yeah, TCA cycle, I think you remember it, right? So please watch here. I think this is the last time I talk about TCA cycle. Starting is not acetylcholine A. Did you remember? It's starting which one?
Coaxylate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, right. Oxaloacetate, is it right? Is it right? Oxaloacetate. Yeah, but please watch here. How about TCA cycle? Is speed depend on acetylcholine A? It means we should eat a lot of food. Is it right? You need to eat a lot of food. But even you have a lot of acetylcholine A, but this speed is dependent on oxaloacetate. Is it right? Doesn't make sense. Did you remember how to increase this oxaloacetate? Some amino acids. Did you remember? Some intermediate, but BCAA. This amino acid can be this intermediate. Is it right? Is it right? Right. But the problem is amino acid or protein use energy. I think you learned from exercise physiology. So usually we use energy from fat and carbohydrate, but sometimes we can use energy from amino acid. When? During
Fasting.
or starving. Is it right?
That's the glycogen.
Starving. Yes. During starving. So why? Because the insulin level decreases, so that case we can use yes.
So only sleep.
But sleep is but I think a low demand is right. Sleep. If you sleep, there are low demand.
Right.
Right. But this case really demand. All right. Yes.
Don't you burn BC or amino acids when you're exercising, but your carbohydrate reserves are gone?
Exactly. Yeah. If you have already covered fat, we do not need to use because this is not my opinion. It's textbook. Amino acids we can use during starving. So how about think about here? So I want to make my engine supercharged engine. To do this, I should increase oxaloacetate. To increase, I should use BCAA. But if you keep it, how can you use BCAA? Is right? Because there are covered fat. So this is why, did you remember I said eat dinner early and do not eat anything. How about around lunch? Before to take lunch, exercise here. Is right? See? How about this amount? It's kind of fasting or starving, is right? Yeah. It's time to use BCAA. Yeah. In our cell, there are pool. Amino acid pool. Usually we do not use because we eat a lot of food, is right? Or like a super rich way, that case we can use that pool. So usually we do not touch because we have a carbon and fat, is right? So how about this case to increase the CCA cycle capacity with more oxalate, we need the BCAA, right? So this is why eat dinner only and fasting before the exercise, so you can exercise here, right? So you exercise. And another one, because do not eat anything, so insulin level decrease, so fat metabolism is maximized. Yeah. Fat metabolism maximized, but however, this exercise intensity kind of challenges, right? 1.5 miles or 5 kilometers. So soon you use, so first energy fat, but kind of high exercise intensity. Finally, you need energy from our mitochondria. That case, but you didn't have carbohydrate, right? So this case, This BCAA activated and give to the what is this, intermediate to TCA cycle become supercharged engine. Yeah. However, if you eat something is here, if you eat something, you cannot use BCAA, fat metabolism decrease. So this exercise usually using just carbohydrate and it is lactate and protein and you feel very tired. That doesn't make sense. But many times, especially our younger sister always asks before exercise, which kind of food we should eat, is it right? But it should be very dependent exercise intensity, exercise mode. But if this is cardiorespiratory exercise, that case we had better don't eat, is it right? So you can make supercharged energy because you can use BCAA, is it right? But if you eat something, right, you cannot use. So you have just normal energy. It doesn't make like a sedan engine. Device. Oh, too much here. Yeah. Oh, how about yeah? So this is our Patrick data. Patrick data. Thank you, Patrick, for allowing me. So here. So how about failure of heart rate? Is it too small, or how about could you see that one? But actually, you stop, you are voluntary stop. So I cannot really say it's really heart rate is failure or not. I'm not really sure because he stopped. And next one, lactate, but we didn't measure it well, so we don't know. How about RER higher than 1.15? RER is here. 1.17 is right, it's higher. So higher RER means it's released more CO2, right? And next one, RP is 17, higher than 17. It's 19 is right. So this case, I can call good peak at this time because I don't know his will plateau. Right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And I show you his will reach plateau or not. So this is data. This is data. Right? So this is his data, and it's too small, right? Oh my goodness. So maybe it is overloaded. What should I do? Right? What should I do? So actually, this is the what is this? Absolute is built value. This is the relative built value. But how about our plateau? Plateau. It should be 150 milliliter per minute, right? That is absolute or relative? Milliliter per minute. Yeah, absolutely, right? Because no kilogram is right. Is right. Yeah. But we just talk about 58.3 milliliter kilogram per minute. But plateau asks the absolute value. See how confused, how confused. And this one is using milliliter kilogram per minute. So I can draw this graph. It looks like plateau, right? But how about if I make very short distance graph, right? X-axis graph. It can be maybe peak, right? Doesn't make sense. So we need to check. How about right here? So for you to increase should be equal or less than 150 milliliter per minute, is right? Is right? So it means we should see the difference between minute. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So this unit is a liter per minute, and this unit is a milliliter kilogram per minute, right? Yeah, doesn't make sense. How to change liter per minute to milliliter per minute? 1,000. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Thank you. See, we need another, even we have lots of data, but we need to manipulate more. Doesn't make sense. Even I can say this one from metabolic curve, right? But they confuse us. They had better show milliliter per minute. So we can easily find he reached plateau analysis, right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So just multiply 1,000 is right. So Cooper said 1,000. So this is milliliter per minute. But less than 150 per minute. So last one, this is a minute. 80 minutes is stop. And 70 minutes. So we need to see the difference 17 minutes and 1 minute. If this number less than 150, it's plateau. But this case even minus 74, which means yeah, less than 150. So plateau. So put next. So this is why I put 58.3. Yeah, doesn't make sense. See, it's a Patrick, right? I think last time Dr. Put next. but still at the home, I just calculate, right? Oh, good max, right? So I call good max, that doesn't make sense. And another one, how about every minute is a difference, and it should be less than 150 minutes, but that is, I can figure out, oh, the last one is right. The last one is less than 150, oh, it's going to cross of that. So it doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. So, any question, any question? So our class, you see, right? So this one. And actually, it's not that this one, there are ventilation, earlier, there are a lot of data. So I can make stress is right there. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's great for learning, but the problem is it's not practical. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I learn a lot of this kind of thing, but after graduate, I don't know how to make exercise program. Doesn't make sense because many things doesn't have any metabolic part. Is right. Is right. This is why 1.5 I run test. I think I talked too many times. So maybe right now, oh, not about that anymore. But actually, it's really great founding. We can make exercise program. So actually, it's good to max more value. Good max or good peak. I can say good max is right. Doesn't. So this is just fitness assessment. I keep saying. So how about attribution of GFT, like this kind of test? First, we need consent and preliminary screening is right. After this one, we should measure resting heart rate value and blood pressure values, right? And 2 to 3 minutes warming up, and we monitor heart rate, blood pressure, RP, and each state. Did you remember? Did you remember? Yes, it's right. And even we measure blood pressure. But this kind of testing is for exercise prescription or just test our heart. This one, blood pressure, RP, is heart or our health is right. It's not really for make exercise program. So this is why it's so confused. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So to give exercise program, you need only brute max value. You do not need really heart rate during the test. You do not really need blood pressure during the test. So I think what is Cooper and Hamir, remember, after 6 minutes, I asked, don't measure blood pressure, don't measure heart rate. Did you remember? Did you remember? Yeah. Because we want to focus more with max value. This is why textbook, everything confuses us. How about auto test is important? So just click the capturing, measuring blood pressures and even 12 minutes, 15 minutes. So he'll be fatigued, right? So he's going to make around 46. And using that value, I make exercise program to give it to him. He think, oh, doctor program is boring. Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. Yeah, everything is confused. But still, this is traditional teaching, so you should know, right? So, timely delivery of pre-test guideline. And before the test, we should say that like this kind of exercise testing will measure blood pressure, that one. And informed consent and script practice is important, is right? Is right. Yeah. Still, you exercise without this one is not good, right? So how about is Lucio's friend? Want to exercise with him? You should say there's documentation, is right? At least park your phone, is right? Just online, just online. Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. Baseline hemodynamic assessment means like a blood pressure and heart rate. Formularization RP scale. I think how about Eva and you? There are 2 RP scales. One is 6 to 20, another one 0 to 10 is right. I think it's Lucio used 0 to 10. So this was I was so confused, right? Oh, 6 to 20. So I think it's 0 to 10. Oh, but this is one. Yeah, doesn't make sense. We have 2 scales, you should know. And warming up is important. And monitor RPE, hemodynamic throughout the test. For recovery, no more RPE. Doesn't make sense. And monitor client physical appears the symptom too, right? So you should see. But sometimes using the math, you cannot think that there is another problem. Yeah. And cool down is important. See here, just I keep talking about good max make exercise program, but see, I just put this picture, right? It's very confused, right? Why is good max test? Is right, but same name. So yeah, so this case, we want to check his heart, right? Doesn't make sense. So this case, That one, we have predetermined endpoint for stress test. That is one thing. To reach 80% of age-critical maximum heart rate, usually this tends to stop. Is right? So there are never tends to get a good max value. Is right? This is stress test. But many textbooks, many professors confused about this test. And today the checking KD.
And in that setting, the stress test is just checking if they're gonna have a chance of dying
Exactly.
versus like the performance or
It's not performance.
health
Yeah.
of their heart. It's
Yes.
just like, oh, is it?
It's really stress test for their heart.
Yeah,
And how about it's a stress test, their endpoint, or client request stop, is right? Patrick said stop, right? So we can stop. And clinical indicator stop too, right? And this was the next slide. And cool down and continuous heart rate, blood pressure, and how about class? I'm sorry, that is my mistake. So this arrow should be like this. So cool down phase should be lower than first stage phase. It's okay. Yeah, it's not really important, but I just let you know. So how about Wingate also what is Bruce protocol 10%, 1.7 mile per hour, this first stage. So your cool down should be lower than this first stage. That doesn't make sense. But I just mistakenly put this arrow. It's very low intensity.
Dr. Plum, so you have a warm-up speed.
Not warm.
Yeah, but the warm-up speed is higher than the cool-down speed, right? Obviously.
Yeah, actually that's not really important.
Doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think cool down is really low, but someone has high blood pressure, they need to cool down.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, it really depends, but it's not really important. Yes, it's really low, it's right? It looks like really low, it's right? Really low. And heart rate, blood pressure, and you need to climb appears too, right? So this is kind of like recovery, right? But how about RP which not measured, right? Around 5 minutes. That is just our recoveries, right? So here it's again, right? So end of protocol and equipment malfunction, client has to stop. Or sign or symptom indicate need to stop pushing the movement and reach determine endpoint. That 85% is right. So this is important. Sign or symptom because you are kinesthetic major and your friend is everybody's young. So usually no problem. But how about if you go back to the home? If you test your parents, that case is totally different situation, right? Yeah. Lucio, see, if your mother wants to start exercise, at the gym, if you test her, right, you should know sign or symptoms, right? Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. Because she didn't exercise for a long time. But actually, she's really good gym, right? So she should supposed to start. So this is kind of indication for people. So angina and chest pain, or this is important. Even increase your exercise intensity, it means systolic blood pressure should be increased, right? Yeah, doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. But sometimes decrease is right. But this case, you should measure blood pressure. Is right, is right. It makes sense, this makes sense. Right? So it's right now is a little bit confused, right? So how about Lucio want to train his mother? But this look like, oh my goodness, should I check systolic blood pressure? So Lucio, do you have really confidence to measure blood pressure during the GST test? But even our class, I didn't spend time to practice that much, right? Maybe using the Monarch bike, right? It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? So that case, actually, I want to train my mom because she has a really good gene, but to measure blood pressure, oh my goodness, better train me, better is fine, is right? So that case, it has become better. Doesn't make sense. Cannot make any exercise program. Doesn't make sense. So it's a dilemma. Is right. So this case really focus her exercise program just 1.5 minor test without measuring blood pressure. But how about if she 50 or 55 years old? That case, do not worry about that 1.5 mile, just sight and measuring her heart blood pressure. So see, it's a little bit confusing, right? It's confusing, right? So Lucio, could you choose stress test for check her heart or 1.5 mile run or 1 mile walking test for exercise program?
exercise program.
Okay, that is right. So do not worry about heart rate and blood pressure, is right. So I respect you. Doesn't make sense. This is why HSM recently changed that one. Usually to participate in exercise and your mom's case, they need strength test. But right now they take off. It doesn't make sense. So HSM choose that one. I think you agree. Yeah. And you should check the base of your people, right? How not heart rate, but you can check during 1.5 mile test how poor confusion or failure of heart rate. Oh, that case we need to what is this chest test again. And another one, change heart rhythm. So how can we know this heart rhythm? Yes, we need EKG. It's better again, but so actually Lucia said you need exercise. But using this one, we need to strategy, right? Yeah, definitely. It's complicated, right? And but still, this is our curriculum, is our textbook, right? Even in focus fitness. So this is even I confused too, right? If we focus too much, actually it's barrier of our people's exercise. It doesn't make sense. But still you should know to prepare HSM exam. And client request and verification of a severe fatigue, right? And failure of improvement. So like that one. And another one, did you remember our Kinton treadmill is right? Kinton treadmill. Is available 20% incline. I think you need some detail. Kinton treadmill doesn't have something. Could you find? It's really important.
Computer.
Oh, no. Yeah, it has computer. It is incline.
Oh, arms.
Yes. But I think you can create like this, right?
Okay.
Kinton treadmill doesn't have something, but this is really big problem. Even I can sue that.
That's stuff.
Start. See? Oh my goodness, but then you can see, right?
Let's do it.
What we need. I think there are a lot to sue. It doesn't make sense. Well, how strange, right? It doesn't have a stop button. It has connected to computer. So using computer, we can stop. Doesn't make sense. It's interesting, right? Why not tomorrow you can check is stop button there or not, right? And RPE, right? So I think it's Eva and I was confused. Usually use 620. And how about if you multiply 10, actually 620, that is a heart rate. It doesn't make sense. If heart said, oh my God, alcohol is very hard, it means his heart rate around 170. Like that kind of approaching, they make RPE. But this is too long, is right? So they make 0 to 10. 0 to 10, we call Omni RP, but actually Omni RP is for children, right? So they use the cartoon to show the how tough, right? Doesn't make sense. And I think I do not like that Omni scale because it looks like the 9 to 10 is like a painful, is right? Like painful, right? So I think I do not want to put that kind of a cartoon. I want to put runner's high. Heaven. But anyway, so you should choose your maximum exercise test protocol, is right? Like Bruce protocol or FAST protocol, is right? And here test using primer exercise modality, is right? Doesn't make sense. I believe all of our students, I think treadmill is better than bike, is right? But how about if we have a cyclist, bike is better? Doesn't make sense. And there's other possible too, right? I mean, it's like rowing machines we can use, even electrical machine we can use. And highest first max value obtained running uphill. So this is why GFT actually a little bit higher number compared to the 1.5 mile, because this is flat. And there are graded tests as well as red tests. Red tests mean exercise intensity and Bruce protocol 6 every 3 minutes. Exercise intensity increase is like a step. Is right. But red protocol exercise intensity is gradually just increase, right? So doesn't make sense. So this case It's this case it's easier to get a real plateau, but this red protocol is tough to find real plateau. It doesn't make sense because keep increase. This is why, oh my God, I was stuck, right? See, but this is just kind of like the same 3 minutes stage, so you can see sometimes real plateau. Doesn't make sense. But however, for athletes like Jackson and Lucio, well, it's Kipchoge, right? Kipchoge, they need red protocol. Yeah, doesn't make sense. So if I use this Bruce protocol for Jackson, I underestimate. So this is why we need red protocol. For red protocol, you need electric bike or electric treadmill. So every second is increasing exercise intensity gradually. So it doesn't make sense. Or like this kind of athlete, they need self-paced protocol. How about Lucio? If I measure your good max value, which kind of speed you are comfortable, but still you can run 8 to 12 minutes.
Like, probably like 8 miles an hour, 7.
8 miles. So 8. No, I'm sorry. 8 miles per hour. 8 miles.
Oh.
8 minutes per mile. Is right? 8 minutes per mile. 8 minutes per mile. Right? So how about 8 minutes per mile? But I want mile per hour. So 1 mile he can run 8 minutes. So this case I need hour. So 60 minutes and 1 hour I put cancel out. So minute, right? So any turn, could you calculate 60 divided by 8? Could you give?
7.5. I think too slow. Yeah.
I think I confused you, right? So it's not like
I thought you said miles per hour, so I said 8 miles per hour.
8 miles per hour. I think you are better than that one. Because 12 miles for your heart rate only 160, right? So how about like this? I think based on my observation, I think 15 or 16 miles per hour he can run. So this case, I put the hip on the 50 to 60 miles per hour. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's too fast. How about 10 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, this is his speed. He does 10 miles per hour, and every minute I want to increase 2% incline. Yeah. So you can give a stretch to him, and we can find a good match. That is kind of like set-paced protocol or customized protocol. And another one, see here, the HSS no longer recommends a graded maximum exercise test before engaging in an exercise program. So how about Lucio is very useful for your mom? Is right. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But this is kind of confusing. That one is a stress test, but this is good math test. Right. But even our testing is very confused. So finally, people really confused. So even trainer do not really focus running. Just join the runners club. Do not give any program. Is right, is right. It's so confused on stress test and good math test. So still we need to know, right, to measure our good max value. This is the exercise, this is the concept. How about class, please watch here, this is important, right? So if you increase exercise intensity, your oxygen consumption is, how can I say, is what is this? Is a linearly increasing. Do you agree? Do you agree? Your oxygen consumption. How about your CO2 production? If you increase exercise intensity, your CO2 production, yeah. So say, at some point, please watch here. Some point, oxygen reaches plateau. At some point, CO2 release more. And why? That actually this is ideal higher than one number.
Because of glycolytic.
Oh, yes.
System.
Yeah. So how about here? See, oxygen concentration increase, but even you can increase exercise intensity, still you can exercise, but there are plateau. It means energy flow where here is mitochondria. Is right. But this amount of energy should be from
Glycolytic.
glycolytic as well as phosphatic system. So at the time, this energy system release proton. Is right? Is right? But our body, how can buffer proton? It release CO2. Did you remember? CO2, right? So it's time to release CO2. So if you release CO2 as much as possible, your proton is buffering. It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? But how about like resistance training? We do not need to release that much. So how about resistance training? If you breathing is like this to release more CO2, it doesn't really help. But how about during exercise? There are a lot of CO2. So this is why you can breathe out a lot. Is right. We call ventilation. Is right. Doesn't make sense. So some point CO2 abruptly increase and after the sustain. So this is why RR number is higher than 1. This makes sense. And another one, it means we choose the exercise intensity gradually, is right? Gradually. So this is why Bruce protocol 10%, 1.7 mile per hour, 30%, 2.5 mile per hour, 14%, right? This is like a gradually increase very linear way, or linear way. So we can figure out some point. Oh, this is actually maximum steady state, and earlier number is around 1. So doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But we can find. Did you remember? Test several times. You can find your maximum state too. Yeah. And our REP protocol, did you remember? It's our athlete, it's track and field, and in REP protocol. Even REP protocol, we can finish around 10 minutes. And the benefit is important, is right? The benefit is small and frequent increase. This is benefit. This is benefit. Because REP protocol give right this kind of energy demand is right. It takes time. For REP protocol, every second, it can increase and exercise intensity. Right? After the consumption is right. But we need expensive equipment like electric, magnetically break the cycle ergometer or program set. And this is Bruce protocol, which is this Bruce protocol is right 1.7, right? But it's minute. Minute is a REP protocol. Right? So does it make sense? See, the second minute, it's use the average, so it can be it's a REP protocol. Every minute increase exercise intensity. So does it make sense? Doesn't make sense. So you can use this one. So how about like can be research too using Bruce protocol, tactics with math. And how about using this? What is this? REP kind of Bruce protocol, which foot max is higher, right? Is it right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. If Patrick is really athletic, endurance athletic, we have to use REP kind of Bruce protocol. And using treadmill protocol even without metabolic heart, because there are equations, right? So we can calculate good max value, is right? So this case, how again, Lucio's mom, she needs treadmill test because it has equations, right? So without metabolic heart, still I can get a good max value. Doesn't make sense. But Lucio, we do not need blood pressure for her, right? Yeah, because we do not need stress test. But we need to still good max for objective test. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So this case, do not worry about heart rate, blood pressure, even RPE. You need which one? How about Bruce protocol? It's based on equation.
Yes.
Oh no, I mean is which kind of variable we need. We do not need the heart rate, is right? We need only time, is right? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. This is why for measuring to give exercise program, we need just time, not heart rate, not RPE, so not blood pressure. Doesn't make sense. This is why I just kept saying you are confused. Only time. But I think you remember Bruce protocol. How about if Lucio's use some commercial gene to test a mother's good max value, but she's surprised because Bruce protocol needs how much incline? Did you remember? Yeah, maximum 20%. But at home, only 10%, at the common setting, only 15% is. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is why, wow, we can just use the Bruce protocol equation, but the problem is treadmill cannot reach 20% incline. So it doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. So you cannot use standard truth. Is it right? So this is why again 1.5 my test on the just like this flat, that's perfect test. Well, I believe there's only test. You can measure it just ordinary people's good max value. And another one, if you know their first stage of their protocol, this is a max value. So you can calculate after the consumption. So does it make sense? It makes sense. It makes sense. See, how about like this? It's 3-minute protocol is right. So when these researchers they make this protocol, they promise. We believe if we exercise 3 minutes, that is steady state. So we can use HSN equation. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So using HSN equation, they calculate max value. If someone finishes first stage of Bruce protocol, it means their max value is 4.6. But max value is one max is 3.5 is right. So you can calculate. So how about like this? How about our Patrick? Did you remember Patrick did how many what is this stages? Oh, this is 5 because he did 15 minutes, right? So it means even I did not use calculator, but I know Patrick finished 15 minutes. It means fifth set. See 14.9 men. This is his good max value because luckily he finished stage 5. So how much this one?
52.15.
52.1.1.5. Right. See, but his first max value is around 53. Is right? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So even without metabolic curve, using just Bruce protocol, using time, I can just get that is enough. Which is right. 53 or 52 is enough. Doesn't make sense. So then I can make a exercise program. But usually, include me when I would run this kind of a class. Without good max value, we cannot make exercise program. Like this kind of program. So that's it. So I never really tried to make exercise program. Yeah. Oh, wow, I do this. Yeah, so it doesn't make I just explain. And how about same approach of Barcake, right? See, Barcake, even finished stage 7 is 6.9 minutes, right? It seems right compared to this one, it's really low. Is right. So it means Barcake, a lot of protocol is very long protocol. So this is Bruce protocol. I'm sorry, this is Barcake protocol is right. See here, speed is right. 3.4 mile per hour and increase 2% every minute. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, this kind of test. And if you use Barcake protocol using time, you can calculate good max value. Is right, men and women. And this is nomogram. So how about calculate here, right? So if you use Barcake protocol, and if you know the time, so you can figure out the good max value. But I think you remember good max test should be done 8 to 12 minutes. Do you agree? Do you agree? 8 to 12 minutes. So could you see Barcake protocol? Maximum 26 minutes is right, doesn't make sense. Because this is developed very old. And another one, even woman's case finished all protocol, but their good max is only 41. Is right. Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. See, can we use? No, actually we cannot use. But this is very traditional test, so I still include. So how about if we just focus 8 to 12 minutes? So I want to really finish 8 to 12 minutes. That case, your good max value is around 18, 19, is right? But actually, good max value lower than 15 is patient. Right? Patient, it should be in the hospital. So Barcake protocol sounds great, but it's not practical one. And actually, we should get rid of. Is right? Nobody can use it. Yeah, doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. But how about you see? This is I just kept saying, you're confused. So did you remember HSM has set up a table? So and I and my question complete is right. At that time, this is the response from the author. Please watch here. See. We use the modified Barclay protocol. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, even right now, I'm just keep talking about it's not good protocol to use, but they use this Barclay protocol. It doesn't make sense. And calculate good mix value. So it's actually really messed up, really messed up. This is I already said there are a lot of cases, two cases. But the interesting thing is, if HSM found error, they very probably update their edition.
Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So they can sell more book. Right? So whenever they update their edition, they should be apologized. But they said this is good news. But still that data there. See here, see here. This is why they put the Barclay protocol is here. Is right. 6:31 minutes 30 seconds. This is not good to match test, I believe so. So I complain, they just take out only this number, is right? Doesn't make sense, doesn't make sense. This is kind of evidence, is right? Oh, they use Barclay protocol, and using this one, they calculate. And they calculate, but they calculate, right? Is right? And they do not have any average and standard deviation data because they do not provide average and standard deviation data. So we cannot use this score, is right? That case, I don't know. I test Lucio is 60, but I cannot say he's good or bad because he doesn't have any average and the standard deviation data. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Yeah, they update 11 edition using this table. Still, they didn't remove average and standard deviation data. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This is situation. This is situation. And how about, Bruce protocol is great because it has equation. If we know the time, we can calculate good match result. It's great. The problem is, so most of the commercial gene strategy has only 15% grade. That is another problem. Yeah, Bruce protocol we can use using time. The problem is the grade. And it has a monogram too, so we can use problem is the grade. And next one, how about this case? Oh my, they develop modified treadmill protocol. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think it's great, right? I think they can change like the incline to the less than 50%. But if you see, still 20% incline. Is it right? They change. I don't know what is modified for this one. So doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So several years ago. Right now, you guys didn't bring the client, is right, but several years ago, still bring client and test that client. That doesn't make sense. So this is why at that time CPR was really required. But right now, I just demonstrate, is right. But anyway, the requirement is not that one. Please watch here. Just keep talking about this one, and at that time, I'm the professor. He is a lab person, is different person. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So I asked them, please use modified Bruce protocol. You can use Bruce protocol or modified Bruce protocol. And finally, it's a lab person, right? So modified protocol, just using. Did you remember? Bruce protocol is 15. 10%, 1.7 mile per hour, and 12%, 2.5 mile per hour. This kind of speed change net value or oxygen consumption value is right, and change exercise intensity using 15% incline. Doesn't make sense. But change speed. So we can use this protocol on the treadmill, on the commercial treadmill. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Do you think it is correct? And we can call modified treadmill protocol. No, actually, modified protocol. Name is modified Bruce protocol, but still we need to follow this one. How about this kind of approach? Using 50%, just using HSM equation, calculate our speed. That one is we should call customized. Even that this is Bruce protocol. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So that was kind of confused. So I asked students to modify Bruce protocol, but let technician just using this one, just using the 50% incline and change speed. And the name is modified Bruce protocol. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This is why I was kept saying very confused. Very confused. So Dr. will complain Bruce protocol a lot. Oh, this is why they update, but actually it's almost same protocol. Right? It's not really that. Because it's 1976. Right? Yeah, so this is why customized test protocol we need. So I believe, right, this is more important. And another one, this is how we earn the money. Not using Bruce protocol, but we should develop speed and grade for our people, right? Doesn't make sense. If we have only 50% incline, 10% incline, but you should make it. And how can you make your own protocol? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Is it right? How can you make your own protocol? Because oxygen consumption as an exercise intensity should give gradually linearly. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Is it right? Is it right? So if you have only 50% incline treadmill, well, that case 50% is minimum as a maximum incline is right. So this case using this one, how about 3, 6, 9? I'm sorry. How about like this? How about Lucio? Lucio could have about 70, just 70. Using HSN equation, I'm sorry. How about 70 is how many men? I'm sorry, class. 70 milliliter per kilogram per minute is how many men? 70. 3.5 is right. 20. Yeah, 20 men. So 20 men. But this should be linear. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. How about 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 20, 11, 10, 9. Oh, he's already one minute, right? Because he's already trained people, right? So this case 1, 2, 3, 17. 1, 2, 3, 14. 1, 2, 3, 11. How about this one? See? 20 men, 17 men, 14 men, 11 men. That's right. How about 15% incline? 12, and 10, and 8. So I think almost done. Using this one, you can calculate oxygen consumption, is right. And you have percent incline. So you can calculate mile power. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This is a customized protocol for what is Lucio, right? Doesn't make sense, Lucio? This makes sense. This makes sense. Is okay? Is okay. So how about to do this one is right? So we should know HSM metabolic equations. Doesn't make sense. I think you know it, right? You know. And how about you take exercise physiology is another professor. Is a that class cover HSM equations to exercise physiology. At the exercise physiology. Oh no.
We didn't in Dr. Blackman's class.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't hit HSM equation, no. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is why I can choose. Yeah. So this case I can go. Right? I can go. So it's here. See how can make this protocol, right? You should do the HSM equation, is right? But there are prerequisites. To know HSM, to use HSM equation, you need to steady exercise. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. At least 3 minutes you should exercise. That's called steady state. It doesn't make sense. And another one here. The HSM metabolic equation allow for the estimation of VO2 for steady state. This is important. But should not be, I'm sorry, used, but I can sue. Used to estimate VO2 max if sense is not. That doesn't make sense. To use HSM equation, steady state, that is important. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. This is important. This is our quiz question too. So this is why when you run 1.5 mile run test on a treadmill, I just kept saying constant speed, constant speed. That case we can use HSM equation. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So this is a system equation, just no incline. So it's here. This is equation, no incline walking, speed multiplied 0.1 plus 3.5. That's simple, is right? Simple. But however, working with grade, we need speed and grade as well as the renting part. So it's like this. So this is a system equation. So how to calculate oxygen consumption? We need speed and grade and renting. This is three components. Doesn't make sense. Or sometimes horizontal, vertical, rest component we need. So doesn't make sense. This is a system equation. And when you take our exam, you do not need to memorize the system equation, but you can see your system equation. Doesn't make sense. But if you use a lot, you just memorize. But our quiz and exam, you can see the equation. Right. So this is equation for working with grade. So speed 0.1, grade speed 4.8 and 3.5. But this this speed is meter per minute, not mile power. So it doesn't make sense. And how about, I don't know, we have time to do. How about this is later, and how about I want to finish our lecture first. How about anything is important one? Oh, I think there are no important one. So I think you can take a quiz that on here, and other one I think I can restart. It's Monday is a HSM equation, doesn't it? But you should be putting the copy. It's time to calculate a lot. Very valuable, very valuable. And tomorrow we have last test for cardiorespiratory fitness. Everyone skip the lunch.
So, what are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Are we testing or just doing it? Right.
oh, tomorrow still left. We'll do something physical.
I guess.
Please write your name. How long do you have to talk? How long do you have to talk?
Yeah, the test tomorrow.
Okay, I will write this one day.
Okay,
Yeah.
then the test, yeah.
Right. But not your case. Your case is right now anabolic, the anabolic status is right. That case is very painful.
Yeah.
Right. So, but next year, I take thanks on it. $150.
456, BB, yeah, I'll be taking it.
I should ask if the people, right? Because it's just,
Hey, I was getting that. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you.
oh, no problem. I will check it. Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend. Next time. Yeah, how about the baby man?
For track, I run the steeple chase. I also run the 5 kilometer.
5 kilometers.
Yeah, 5K. Yeah.
And, but yes, you said you Swedish.
Yeah, I went to swim for drop. Yeah.
This is why, but I believe you already train a lot.
Yeah,
But still you see.
Yeah, I swim. So we have our main practice in the morning. And then the afternoon I like to do something. So yesterday I went to the pool, just take it easy, get rid of stuff, take it away up.
Some people do not exercise, but you guys, you must put good more, right? Because high good max value is good motivation to keep your.
It is because you feel good, so you want to keep it.
Right.
Yeah.
I want something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. But thank you. Have a good weekend. And please encourage each other to talk.
I will not.
Why do you talk?
He's under a lot of stress right now, but I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Yeah.